Part 336. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3351. Roar. You lied to me. Keel Whale Hate clenched his teeth, his eyes were full of murder. What a shame. This is a great shame. He was taken aback for a while. This face is completely lost. Call. Hoo. Severe gasps followed, and my mentality has collapsed. The keel whale hit rushed towards Fang Fan with his teeth and claws open, and he wanted to kill the bastard who deceived him in front of him. Only in this way can his shame and humiliation be wiped away. Otherwise, the resentment deep in his heart will only increase, and he will be suffocated to death. Keel Whale Hite felt that even though he had suffered some injuries, there was no problem in killing Fang Fan. If you don't even have this bit of self-confidence, wouldn't everything be in vain? At this moment, the surging feeling in the depths of his heart hits, and the brilliance in his eyes gathers in an all-round way. Boom! Keel Whale Hate's body stopped in front of Fang Fan, unable to break through. No matter how much he flaunts his teeth and claws, he is still doing futile work. Roar. No. It's not like that. No one can restrain the deity. I want revenge. Damn it. Damn it. My head hurts, it hurts. Ah. Keel Whale Hite's whole body trembled, his complexion distorted in an instant as he spoke, and the murderous intent in his eyes grew more and more. Can't stand it anymore. The mentality is fully fluttering. The moment of explosion is here. He wants to show his domineering posture thoroughly. Instant crush. Instant invincibility. Roar. The roar came, and everything around was completely silent. Do you think you still have a bargaining chip in your hand? Since you are a battle pet, you must look like a battle pet, otherwise I don't care about killing you. You should know that I have this ability. Fang Fan walked on the water, the corners of his mouth raised silently, and the brilliance in his eyes gathered in all directions. When it's time to be tough, you can't be cowardly. Especially at this moment, if you are really cowardly, what will it be like? Fang Fan stretched out his hand indifferently, and then patted the right side of Keel Whale Hate's body. Ah! Keel Whale Hate suddenly seeped fist-sized beads of sweat on his forehead, his whole body was curled up into a ball, his lips were trembling, and his face was full of pain and suffering. No. Don't. Please let me go, don't squeeze my consciousness anymore. It hurts, so painful. Ah! Hysteria's roar followed, and Keel Whale Hite pursed his lips, with blood and tears in his eyes. At this moment, the body is completely curled up, and the mentality is also slowly bursting. A few words can no longer express the pain in my heart. At this moment, I can only curl up my body, so that I can feel better. At this moment, Bai Piao and others also walked over from a distance. At this moment, each of them looked at each other with sighs on their faces. They just watched the whole situation. Such a powerful keel whale is now as weak as a small carp with its scales removed. This change is simply not too big. The more you look at it, the weirder it becomes, and the more you look at it, the more tricky it becomes. Fang Fan, I knew you could do it. Hey. I guessed right. You are still as good as ever. This dragon bone whale was too arrogant just now, damn it. All the gods' thunder from the heavens of this envoy were blasted to death. This bone is too hard. Bai Piao curled her lips, and then couldn't help but complain. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3352. God Thunder. You released that divine thunder. Sure enough, it really is like this. Ha 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 ha. Liars, a bunch of liars. You can deceive the deity's body, but you can't deceive the deity's heart. This deity belongs to the keel whale family. The real dragon is just our dish. You can't conquer this deity. Keel whale height is still maintaining his poor self-esteem. Just sustain and sustain. But it's all empty talk. In the end, it's not the same as being slapped in the face. Oh. Is it? Fang Fan's sharp eyes glanced at keel whale hate, and there was a special kind of brilliance in his eyes. In an instant, keel whale height's body trembled violently, and his mentality split instantly. Now he not only felt that his head was about to split open, but also felt like there were countless ants climbing on the surface of his skin all over his body. The itching sensation slowly began to penetrate from the surface of the skin, and slowly, it entered the inner organs, making him feel extremely painful invisibly. The sense of panic deep in my heart followed, and my mentality exploded in an instant. Don't want. No more. I was wrong. Don't dare. Boy, let me go, let me go. Keel whale height gritted his teeth, and then couldn't help but admit cowardly. You're my battle pet, but you call me a kid. Is this your attitude of admitting your mistakes? Fang Fan stared directly at the past. Keel whale hate's face was full of bitterness. My height's life is too bitter. He was detained in the disaster god's underground palace for tens of thousands of years, and now he is still enslaved by such a weak practitioner. Why is his road ahead so dark? God is not fair. It's unfair. The demon is under the eaves and has to bow his head. Keel whale height silently lowered his noble head. Owner. Xiao Tet is wrong. Please, let me go. Keel whale height suddenly flattered to the extreme. The attitude of admitting mistakes is good, but the tone is a bit creepy. Claiming to be, Little Tet? Is it really appropriate for such a big one to call himself Little Tet? Fang Fan exhaled a foul breath, and his facial expression became particularly complicated at this moment. You can call me Lord from now on. Submit to me, and I will never treat you badly. If you have two minds, you will surely die. Fang Fan squinted his eyes, and as he spoke, murderous aura gathered around him. Keel whale height subconsciously shrunk his head back, with a wry smile on his face at this moment. What else can he say at this time? Can't I just follow suit? The rest are nothing. It almost collapsed. Don't dare. Absolutely dare not have two hearts. Please, don't worry, my lord. Height will definitely serve in the name of the Lord from now on. Never dare to slack off. The Lord honors me, the Lord humiliates me to death. Keel whale height began to express his loyalty. Fang Fan nodded, looking very satisfied. The second level is now free of any obstacles. Do you know who built this underground palace? And, under the underground palace, what else? What will you encounter in the next level? Fang Fan pondered for a while, and then asked. He is still very curious about these. The mysterious underground palace of the god of disaster, the mysterious 9 floors of the underground palace. There is also the ethereal sound that appears and disappears at that time. Everything seemed so weird. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3353. This. I don't know about that. I was caught when I was still a cub. I just heard them say that this seems to be a palace built by the god of disaster. For tens of thousands of years, I have only stayed on this level. As for what is above and below, I don't know. Keel whale height shrank his neck, then shrugged and said helplessly. The thing is such a thing, the situation is such a situation, all aspects are so real. The rest are nothing. Fang Fan. Co-author, Is This Blind? Etc. You just said, them. Who are they? Are there other creatures around here? Chu Ceci's beautiful eyes flickered with brilliance, and she immediately grasped the key point. Facing Chu Ceci's inquiry, Keel Whale Height remained silent, even with a hint of arrogance on his face. If you ask me whatever I answer, where will I save my face? Am I shameless? The face is bigger than the sky. Don't you understand this truth? Chu Ceci looked a little embarrassed seeing the Keel Whale Height in such a posture. Hurry up. Don't waste time. Fang Fan stared at him, and Keel Whale Height couldn't help sticking out his tongue. When the Lord spoke, he could only follow and obey. In all aspects, isn't that the case? Too difficult. Forward. Those are all my kin, and they are also keel whales. But I can't see them often, we can only communicate once in tens of thousands of years. Anyway, it's mysterious and mysterious. Every time someone breaks into this floor, a keel whale will be sent out to fight. This time you came, I was unlucky, so I was sent out. And then, that's it? The keel whale swayed in pain, with a look of emotion on his face. Fang Fan pondered silently. This keel whale Height was already his favorite at the moment, because of the existence of the Rage God contract. Fang Fan would know anything he had concealed from Fang Fan. What this guy said just now is true. If this is the case, it shows that there is far more than a keel whale on the second floor of the God of Disaster underground palace. It's just that when Fang Fan and the others broke in, they only encountered one. Even if Fang Fan took Height away now, when someone crashes into the second floor of the underground palace, other keel whales will still rush out to stop him. I don't know how many keel whales are placed in the second floor of the underground palace. Wrapped layer by layer, it's a big deal. While Fang Fan was talking, the corners of his mouth involuntarily raised, and the gleam in his eyes grew more and more. This time, the thoughts were displayed in place, and the whole person became smug. Fang Fan glanced around, and then focused on the entrance of the third floor. If you continue to go down, you may have greater gains, or you may encounter greater dangers. It is more than words. At the same time, outside the Disaster God's underground palace. Because of the silver-white light released when the Disaster God's underground palace was opened, practitioners from various universities and colleges have gathered here at this moment. The scale has also increased from hundreds at the beginning to thousands or even tens of thousands. And the number is still increasing. At this moment, seeing the bronze gate in front of the Disaster God's underground palace, they all have different complexions, each with ghosts in their hearts, and their own plans. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3354. Rush in. I feel like the baby is in here. Look, it's marked on it that you can get one piece of God stone if you pass through the first floor of the God of Disaster underground palace, and you can get 2 fragments if you go out of the country on the second floor. The more layers of the Disaster God's underground palace you have broken through, the greater the benefit. Call. Anyway, it would be a pity to miss this. Such a good opportunity, are you willing to miss it? Forward. That's what I said, but haven't you noticed the gloominess here? The ghost knows what danger there is. Did you hear any sound just now? It's too weird. Could it be that the so-called God of Disaster is not dead yet? Right? Just to trick us. God of Disaster cheated you. Why the hell do you have such a big face? What do you think you don't know? As for letting a true God cheat you, aren't you thinking too much? It's not that I think too much, but that there is indeed such a possibility. Calamity God, this name is unlucky. Could it be that this Calamity God has only one consciousness left now? Now this consciousness wants to take it away? If this is the case, wouldn't it be even more terrifying? So terrifying. Take it easy, don't waste time, Don't, don't slack off in the slightest." The shouts gradually increased, and the sounds of panic gathered in an all-round way, and the changes in facial expressions at this moment were particularly real. Needless to say anything else, the mentality at this moment collapsed in an instant. The cool moonlight is being fully practiced to the end. Gradually, many people noticed Xiangfei Xiaolai and others standing in the distance. Because they appeared here a long time ago, maybe they know more. Hee. It really doesn't take much effort to find nowhere to find. I didn't expect to meet you all here. Damn it. Asshole. Where's Fang Fan? Where is he? Bloodborne He, the master of the Dark Academy, couldn't make great strides to reach the upper limit. While talking, the corners of his mouth couldn't help twitching. As he was talking at the moment, the gleam in his eyes grew more and more. Thinking of the setbacks he had suffered before, He couldn't feel infinite resentment in his heart at this moment. At that time, he gathered thousands of people to kill Fang Fan, but he didn't expect to be hit back in the end. And he himself was directly cut off half of his body by Galen. At that time, he was only a short distance away from the god of death. Almost died. A sense of horror from the heart struck, and the whole person collapsed with blood. Mentality, completely exploded. That feeling is still in my memory, and I feel inexplicably horrified and excited. Call. At that time, if there was not a bloodlight talisman that escaped, I would have been dead. Heifu couldn't scratch his face, there was new flesh growing there. When he thought of all that happened before, it was difficult for him to contain the madness deep in his heart. Say. Where is Fang Fan? He couldn't roar directly. Have no idea. Those three simple words directly showed Xiangfei's indifferent attitude. Have no idea. Do you not know or don't want to tell? Hee. Playing such a trick in front of this young master. Ridiculous. Extremely ridiculous. What is in front of you is a dead end. Just you guys, do you still want to be rampant in front of me? Young Master Ben will see later, do you still dare to be rampant? Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3355. He couldn't grit his teeth, and the gleam in his eyes grew more and more. While talking at this moment, the combat power of the whole body is in full swing. Crazy sense of oppression swept over, invisible cold wind gusts. Deep in my heart, there is an inexplicable sense of panic and anxiety. Die. He couldn't make a direct move, and instantly locked onto Xiangfei. Concubine Xiang's face was calm, and she was ready to fight at any time. At this moment, don't be careless. All mentality will collapse. At this moment, there are still a few ruling unicorns gathered around Xiangfei, ready to fight back at any time. Before that, Fang Fan had collected 100 combat units, so he left the Judgment Unicorn Sacred Beast Legion here. Xiangfei, Xiao Liyulai, Lu Jiyi, and the Judgment Unicorn Sacred Beast Legion are all fully prepared and ready to fight out at any time. Fighting power is gathered around the body, and there is a strong sense of instant oppression. Snort. If Fang Fan was here, I might still be afraid of 3 points. Now it's just a few girls who dare to run rampant in front of this young master. It's really deadly. Since you want to die, then, you will be fulfilled. Die. He couldn't raise his combat power to the extreme, and the sword in his hand slashed frantically. The surrounding crowd retreated one after another, for fear of being affected by the fish pond. They each shrank their necks at this moment, and the expressions of panic on their faces were very real. The smile on Heifu's face gradually increased, as if he had seen Fang Fan die on the spot. In that case, how fun it would be. There is such a sense of carelessness all over the body. Take off. Followed directly to take off. Cool. Just don't be too cool. I can't kill Fang Fan for the time being, So it's a different kind of revenge to kill a few of his women first. Boom. Um. Why can't my knife stab forward anymore? What's going on? He couldn't look at the empty space in front of him, with a look of astonishment on his face. At this moment, it seemed that there was an invisible wall in front of him, and he couldn't pierce it no matter what. Before he could react, the picture in front of him changed again. Click. Click. There was a sound of shattering, and he couldn't help but watch the saber in his hand shatter completely. Grass. In the end. What's the situation? Damn it. He couldn't help being confused, and now he couldn't understand more. God of Disaster Underground Palace, no random fighting. Scramblers. 1 heavy punishment, 2 executions. Suddenly, ethereal voices came from the surrounding area, and slowly, an invisible oppressive force came along. No. What the hell? Go away. Go away. Ah. Amidst Haofu's horrifying screams, a black mist swept over him, and instantly turned his armed arm into nothingness. In the air, there is not even a speck of dust left. Hand. My hand. He couldn't roar out a sound. At this moment, blood flowed out from the broken arm. The most frightening thing was that black mites suddenly emerged from the wound on his broken arm. These mites kept writhing on his broken arm, making his injury impossible to heal at all. Everything has a strange feeling. After a short glance, his mentality collapsed in an instant. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3356. Boom. He couldn't collapse on the ground, and couldn't help twitching violently. At this moment, he glared at Xiangfei and the others with a resentful voice. What are you waiting for? Kill. Kill her. Kill them. Or they did it? Didn't you see that many of them have been injured like this? You trash. Are you just watching like this? Damn it. Damn it. Son of a bitch. Death. Everyone must die. Everyone must die. You bastards. Didn't you listen to my orders? Ah. Do you want to disobey Ben Xiaoyang? He couldn't directly growl while feeling the throbbing pain coming from his body. At this moment of shattering, everything will follow here. Senior brother Haofa, it's not that we don't want to go up, it's, this disaster god's underground palace doesn't allow fighting with weapons. It's not like you didn't hear the voice just now. If we launch an attack now, we will definitely die. We don't want to die. Yes, that's the reason, let's forget it. Young Master He, it's not that we don't want to follow your orders, but you can't let us die. This is too scary. Severe punishment for the first shot, and direct obliteration for the second shot. This disaster god's underground palace is so scary. Young Master He, even if you can't resist the divine punishment from the disaster god's underground palace, we can't even. I also hope that young Master He can understand us. That's right, that's the reason. A series of shouts followed, and everyone's complexion also changed completely. At this moment, their mentality was already in a state of collapse, and if they were a little careless, they were all cold. Asshole. Waste. A bunch of trash who are greedy for life and afraid of death. It's just a blindfold. Where did God's punishment come from? This disaster god's underground palace has existed for tens of thousands of years, and its energy has long been exhausted. Attack quickly. Do it quickly. Avenge this young master. The insane He couldn't be like a lunatic, and he had already begun to pay any price. As long as he can achieve what he wants, he won't care too much at all. He. Senior brother Sci-Fi, if you really think this is a cover-up, you can launch another attack and see what the result will be. If there is no damage, we will take the initiative to follow you to attack. That's right, that's the truth. This is the way it should be done. Senior brother Sci-Fi is invincible. Continue to attack. The shouts increased, and the scene was instantly oppressed, and the sense of weirdness involuntarily increased. Hay couldn't grit his teeth, and at this moment, he clenched his fist tightly. Damn it! These bastards actually want to make him a test subject. What if the warning of the ethereal sound is true? He had already been severely punished when he shot for the first time. If he strikes again, according to the regulations, wouldn't he be wiped out instantly? Hay couldn't judge whether the ethereal sound was deaf or real. The surrounding environment just seems unusual. Snort. I am in a good mood today, so I won't argue with you girls. When Fang Fan appears, I will kill him. This young master doesn't believe that he can hide for a lifetime. Hay couldn't grit his teeth, and then pretended. You can't be too slapped in the face. In all aspects, you still have to take it easy. In front of so many followers, you must pretend to be a new height. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3357. Suddenly there was a burst of sighing around. In fact, it's like who doesn't know what's going on. Everyone knows it well, but they just don't want to say it out of their hearts. Bells and whistles, that's all. Chi wei wei until now, nothing. Actually, I'm afraid. Ha ha ha, how shameless are you, and you still say that you don't care about girls. Damn it. Are you shameless? How did you say that? Laughed, my stomach hurts from laughing. It's the same, what AF *ing thief. This black guy is pretty funny, pretend not to be in place, and you still know how to save yourself some face. Tisk, isn't that what happened? What a piece of rubbish. However, from another aspect, it also shows that this place is not very safe. If you are not careful, you may be obliterated. Heh. I've said it long ago, this disaster god's underground palace is very strange, don't be careless, otherwise you won't know how you died. Huh, that's the truth, damn, I don't want to die right now. Grass, who the hell wants to die? It's better to die than to live. One after another voices of discussion followed, and the surrounding atmosphere swept over. Each has ghosts, each has its own ideas. The announcement of the disaster god's underground palace has begun. Fang Fan successfully led the team through the third floor of the disaster god's underground palace. Reward a piece of quasi-god's bone. Suddenly, that ethereal sound resounded through the surrounding space again. In an instant, all kinds of voices suddenly became noisy. Lying in a trough. Rewards, take off. A quasi-god bone? Quasi-god. The quasi-god is second only to the true god. A quasi-god is the kind of existence that has condensed the Godhead, but has not yet ignited the divine fire. Once the divine fire is successfully ignited, the quasi-god can directly transform into a true god. Above the demigods are false gods, above the false gods are quasi-gods, above the quasi-gods is the true god. This shows how difficult it is to achieve the position of a true god. Half-gods, no Godhead, no Godfire, don't have the ability to condense Godhead and Godfire, let alone condense divine power, can only simply enjoy the belief of believers. You can accumulate the power of faith by recruiting believers, and wait until the accumulated power of faith is enough. After a long time, the path of practice will be magnanimous in an instant, and there may be a chance to rise up in waves, gradually condense a trace of divine power, and become a false god. False god, no Godhead, no Godfire, with a little divine power in his body, he already has the ability to condense the Godhead and ignite the Godfire. By chance, it is possible to condense the Godhead on his own. A quasi-God, with a Godhead, without a Godfire, or the kind of existence that has a Godfire and no Godhead, and the divine power in the body is far more than that of a false God. You only need to complete the other half of the road to a God by chance, and you can be promoted to a true God. Everyone's eyes widened, and some messy thoughts could not help appearing in their minds. Thinking to himself at this moment, the light in his eyes gradually increased. All kinds of thoughts gathered here, and they were all stunned. Although quasi-gods are not true gods, they are much, much stronger than so-called demigods to a certain extent. And demigod bones are extremely rare in the market, and they are also extremely precious. If they are used to make weapons, they will even carry the prestige of a demigod powerhouse in his lifetime. In this way, wouldn't it bring out the grand significance of the quasi-god's bone? Nice one. Absolutely good stuff. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shuyu. Chapter 3358. In an instant, they all stared at. I couldn't help but gasp, the brilliance in my eyes was also fully gathering, and the surging feeling deep in my heart was bursting out in an all-round way. A wave took off directly. At the moment when thoughts are rushing, a few words can no longer express it. Crossing through the third floor of the underground palace can obtain the quasi-clergy bone. This reward is too deep. Are you tempted? Damn, I can't take it anymore. I want to break into the underground palace. If you want to enter the underground palace, gather 100 people first, form a team, and then go in together. Count me in. Count me in too. Damn, I want to go too. There is another person here. You're not afraid of danger now? Didn't you feel flustered just now? Ha. Ha ha ha. Dangerous. What danger? Dangerous hammer. What's the big deal? Going up is just hammering. Push forward violently. Damn it. The opportunity is right in front of you, go. I also want to get the bone of the god. The rewards after this are probably better, maybe there are bones of the true god, if we can get the inheritance of the true god by chance, we will really fly. Damn, don't tempt me, my resistance is very poor, very poor. Hey, if you don't want to rush, leave it to me. Get lost. Still want to fight with us? Even if we are rubbish, as long as we can pass through the first floor of the disaster god's underground palace, we can get a god stone fragment, which is worth tens of thousands of high-grade star cores. It's blood money. That's right, Fang Fan's team can pass the third level directly, so can we. The scene is completely boiling. Benefits, motivating people's hearts. With such benefits in front of them, everyone's eyes were red, and now they can't wait to rush over directly, and the brilliance in their eyes is growing more and more. My husband has already reached the third level. This speed is quite fast. Concubine Xiang's eyes lit up, she couldn't help nodding her head silently while talking. I don't know when my husband will come out. It feels like I've been waiting for a long time. This guy is getting worse and worse now, he knows he ran in, and he doesn't know how to bring us. No. He also brought Chu Sisi with him. This guy doesn't want to flirt with girls inside, does he? Oh my god. If that's the case, this guy is such a jerk. We worry about him outside, but he flirts with girls inside. Xiao Liyulai has always had this kind of quick-talking temperament, and now she can't help clenching her teeth while talking, the corners of her mouth are wheezing, and the sparkle in her eyes can't help but increase. At this moment, the thoughts rise in the heart, and the changes in the facial expressions are very real. Little Liyulai, don't talk nonsense. Trust my husband, he is not this kind of person. Husband let us stay outside because he was worried that we would be in danger after entering. How is it possible between my husband and cousin Sisi? Concubine Xiang blinked, and gradually became a little less confident as she spoke. At this moment, the lips are pursed, and the eyes can't help but become erratic. In a few words, the corners of his mouth twitched more and more. The inhalation sound gradually became real. What is your husband's temperament? She still doesn't know. Back then, I kissed her when we first met. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3359. Thinking of the previous period of history, Concubine Xiang's face turned red with embarrassment. Miss Xiangfei, look, you are not convinced. Humph. Can we still not know what kind of temperament that guy is? Why? What will happen next? I can guess. My husband is good at everything, but he is too affectionate. Every time I see a beautiful woman, I can't walk. Humph, how could he be like this? Xiao Liyulai gritted her teeth, and then followed suit with complaints. Lu Jiyi on the side didn't speak for a while, but her eyes subconsciously turned around, her facial expression seemed a little complicated. I don't know what happened to him inside. I don't know if it's dangerous or not. Lu Jiyi sighed, and while talking, couldn't help but shook her head. Don't worry, nothing will happen. Don't you know his temper? It's impossible to let yourself suffer. Humph, if there was any danger, I'm afraid he would have slipped away long ago. It's okay. It's definitely okay. Concubine Xiang nodded, and then began to perform self-hypnosis at the side. Anyway, the facial expression at this moment is very sincere. Thinking about this, I feel deeply. Not far away, He, whose arm had just been annihilated, couldn't keep turning his eyeballs. He was moved. This is a fantastic opportunity too. Opportunities lie ahead. Good place. Absolutely great place. God of Calamity Underground Palace, it seems that this is really the place where God of Calamity once lived. There are even god bones. I don't know how many treasures are buried here. If the control is in place, a wave will take off directly. At that time, if I can get the bone of the true God to dedicate to the ancestor may be able to go further, and then the cultivation base will skyrocket. If that's the case, can I be rewarded less? Hee. At that time, I will be the veritable young palace master of the Dark Academy. The opportunity is right in front of you. Don't miss it. This Fang Fan can directly break into the third floor of the Calamity God's underground palace, so where am I? The people gathered around here are all the elites of my Dark Academy. It's my turn to show my skills. He couldn't help rubbing his hands, and while talking, the gleam in his eyes grew more and more, the mentality gathered here, and the thoughts were also surging. Let all of this explode. Let's all explode. In this real God's cave, Heifu, is the real protagonist. No one can compete with him. Anyone who violates this rule will die. All die. The arrogance of the Dark Academy. Anyone who wants to enter the underground palace to win treasure with me, stand up. My Dark Academy is absolutely inferior to the Bright Academy. Let's catch up with Fang Fan in the Calamity God's underground palace, kill him, and be ashamed. Warriors. Let's fight. At this moment. Full blown. The treasure is right in front of your eyes, now it depends on your attitude. Advance. Or retreat. He couldn't start a full-scale journey of roaring again. Whew, from now on. What he needs now is the absolute elite of the 99 dark schools. He wants to build a super strong team of hundreds of people. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shuyu. Chapter 3360. Treasure. These are all treasures. With the treasure in front of me, I couldn't help but feel a surging feeling deep in my heart. Thoughts gathered in my heart, and the feeling gradually became real. It's just that the current cultivators seem to have become more oily, and they didn't respond much for a while. One by one, they began to look at each other in blank dismay, with complicated expressions. If we really get the treasure by then, how will we divide it? We can't just be cannon fodder, right? What we want is profit. That's right. This matter must become a reality. It's nothing. What's the point of doing it? Breaking through the first floor of the Calamity God's underground palace only rewards a fragment of the God Stone. What will happen then? Isn't this situation very complicated? Tut, tisk tisk, this situation cannot be broken. What you said is indeed reasonable, at least you have to explain these things clearly. If you don't say it clearly, it's nothing. The restlessness gradually increased. At this moment, it is basically to dismantle the stage. It can be seen that the prestige of this black man is not very high, and he cannot reach the level of universal response. Facing the comprehensive doubts of the people around him, Haofu's breathing gradually became rapid. Slowly, the expression became extremely ugly. Damn it! How dare you treat him like this? It's really deadly. Damn stuff. Don't know what his identity is. I am the descendant of the master of the Dark Academy. I am a master. I ask you to follow me to enter the Disaster God's underground palace. That is an opportunity for you to practice. Still thinking about sharing the treasure? You trash want to share treasures. Where is the face? Heifu couldn't wriggle his lips, thinking to himself, his eyebrows couldn't help but raised all over. While speaking, the sarcasm on his face was beyond words. Needless to say about other things for the time being, this attitude is what has been demonstrated in place this time. Of course, all these thoughts must be hidden in the bottom of my heart, and they must not be exposed casually. Otherwise, it would be impossible to fool these idiots. Although there are many Zyajiju in Haofu's heart, there are also some in Chinfu. Everyone, brothers, listen to me. I can't swear in the name of the Dark School. All the treasures obtained at that time will be distributed according to work. That is to say, whoever has done more and contributed more will get more rewards. If you don't make any contribution, don't expect to get a penny. When the time comes, this young master will definitely lead by example. You all just need to supervise this young master well then. We are all brothers, what can't we talk about properly? That's all I have to say. I hope everyone can understand this. In all aspects, there must be no carelessness in the slightest. If you think you are unparalleled in combat power, you can stand up now. Let us work hard together. Fight to the end. Fight. 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 What is our original intention for coming to the true God Cave? Isn't it for the treasure after all? But now, such a good opportunity is right in front of you, why hesitate? The bloody battle to the end. Follow me. Create a miracle. That Fang Fan is just a first-year student of Guangming Academy. He led a group of mobs and even passed the 3rd level, and even got the bone of Quasi-God. What's the difference between us? Blood man. Let's fight to the end. War. Fight, fight, fight. A roaring roar followed, and He couldn't seem to put his emotions into it. Slowly, his face turned extremely flushed. The effect of this wave of speeches is still good. Distribution according to work actually speaks to the hearts of many people. At this moment, there are many people who are proud of heaven stand up, looking majestic and majestic. I would like to fight with your excellency. Add me. Haha. I am also a member of the Dark Camp, so I should support. The atmosphere slowly became agitated. At this moment, in the audience, not only He could not form a gang to prepare to attack the disaster god's underground palace, but all universities and colleges were organizing troops and preparing for a wave of bloody battles. This time the scene was displayed in place, and their respective eyes also gathered together in an all-round way. Snort. I didn't expect this Fang Fan to take the top spot again this time. Everyone knows that there is a Fang Fan in Guangming Academy, but he has completely forgotten about the rest of us. Lu Feng, the captain of the fourth-year representative team of Guangming Academy, gritted his teeth, and couldn't help but complain. While speaking, the displeasure on his face grew more and more. He and Fang Fan had had conflicts before, and were suppressed several times, and he had already resented Fang Fan extremely in his heart. So every time he sees that Fang Fan is pushing up, he feels uncomfortable. Probably, this is a kind of morbid thinking. Boss, but speaking of it, this Fang Fan's luck is really good. Now that I have passed the third level, I even got the quasi-god's bone, which is second only to the true god's bone. If this quasi-god bone is taken out, I'm afraid those demigods will have to kill one of them. Hey, who said it wasn't? Damn it, luck is simply not so good. This is our first-year brat from Guangming Academy, and he directly robbed our senior brothers and sisters of their glory. This kid is a little too crazy. Jealousy and jealousy are both diseases. Once the disease starts, it will be out of control. Humph. I'm afraid it's not very difficult to break into the disaster god's underground palace, so that kid just picked up a big deal. This time, we must seize the opportunity. The rewards on the third floor of the God of Disaster Underground Palace are just that good, and there must be more treasures in the back. This is the opportunity God has given us. Let's assemble an elite 100-man team and charge forward. Lu Feng licked his lips, eyes full of greed and excitement. Disaster God's Underground Palace, the exit on the third floor, and the entrance on the fourth floor. Fang Fan held the quasi-god's bone in his hand, and his face was a bit complicated. In the first level, they were attacked by tens of thousands of purple black ants. Although these purple black ants are not high in cultivation, they are highly poisonous and difficult to deal with. In the second level, they encountered a keel whale with amazing defense power. In the end, if Fang Fan hadn't tricked the keel whale height into signing the contract with the God of Desolation, it might not be so easy to pass the level. And then came to the third level. In the third level, Fang Fan walked abruptly for more than 10 minutes. Then he came to the exit, and then he heard the ethereal voice from the disaster god's underground palace, indicating that he had successfully passed the third level, and he was directly rewarded with a quasi-god bone.